Hey everybody, welcome to PhD Plays. I'm Haley, and today we're going to be looking at a game that I really love called Four Last Things. It's by developer Joe Richardson, and it's a really cool point-and-click adventure. It's got some really fun humor, but the reason I really like it is because it has a lot of historical relevancy for the work that I do. So this is the first video that I'm doing historical analysis on this channel, so I think a few introductions are in order. Like I said, my name's Haley. Why am I doing historical analysis of video games on this channel? Well, for a few reasons. I'm a PhD student right now pursuing a doctoral degree in history at Brown University. I specialize in the Italian Renaissance, but I would say my biggest area of specialty is actually called digital humanities. I make digital timelines and maps that are interactive. I do coding. But the thing that I'm really passionate about is I make historical video games, and I teach students how to do that as well. With that, I guess we'll get into the gameplay. So it's been a few years since I've played this game, but I have played it before. But because it's been a while, I've forgotten a lot of things. So some of this is going to be me kind of reacting and responding organically to the gameplay, which I remember parts of it I really enjoyed, and then like the puzzles like really stumped me, so we might skip around a little bit. So part of it's going to be that, and then part of it's going to be me kind of analyzing the historical elements, giving you guys a little bit of context of, okay, what is the history behind some of the things that we're seeing on screen? You know, where did some of this art come from? What are some of the religious themes being explored? Like, what was society like at the time that this is being depicted? I don't think the developer Joe Richardson gives a specific, like, you know, date that this is taking place or time frame that he's setting it, but just based on the artwork and the soundscape, it's set during the Northern Renaissance. It doesn't exactly like say which country, but the game is based on a particular painting by Hieronymus Bosch. So his lifetime, I just looked up, is I think it was 1450 to like the 15 teens. So that's about the time frame that I'm assuming the world of this game is set. So anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get into a new game, and we'll do a little bit of playing, a little bit of chatting. Okay, so that's how the game starts, is we get this really kind of chaotic garden scene, and so it looks like we're playing as Adam. We've got Eve over here, and this appears to be God, sort of hiking up his skirt and being kind of silly. So I guess let's just explore the garden a little bit, because so this painting that they're using as kind of the background and that Joe Richardson has animated for us is actually called The Garden of Earthly Delights, and of course it's based on the Christian tradition of, you know, Adam and Eve being born into paradise, into Eden, which is the Garden of Earthly Delights, basically. But this painting is called The Garden of Earthly Delights. It's another painting by Hieronymus Bosch that we're going to be seeing throughout. It's not the one that the game is based off of, Four Last Things, which I'll show you when that comes up. But let's just explore the garden a little bit, because there are some really weird creatures in here, which I guess the character agrees. Bill-faced Fishman seems to be reading a tiny copy of Bloodsport by Robert F. Jones. Okay, I don't get that reference. Man, yeah, these guys are really weird. And this is one of the things that Bosch is known for, is just some really, really weird stuff. Like, kind of every painting you see by him is just, like, it's got, like, kind of an uncanny, I don't know if it's uncanny valley quality, but definitely uncanny quality, where it's like you've got a lot of hybrid creatures are kind of a common theme. Basically, like, he just looks like he would be really good at, like, writing horror novels if that was a thing during his time, because everything he does is, like, a little bit freaky. And I don't know if there's any depictions of hell in this game, but you could imagine, like, if this is supposed to be the Garden of Eden, where everything is, like, beautiful and wonderful, and we've got, like, these guys over here, you can only imagine what hell is like, right? And then you've got this kind of, like, creepy child who's supposed to, he's kind of morphing into the serpent, or she's kind of morphing into the serpent. So for those who don't know, the story in the Christian tradition of how humans were made is that God made one woman Eve, one man Adam, placed them in this, like, perfect, earthly paradise. So the devil tempts them by eating a piece of fruit from this tree that would give them eternal knowledge. And then they eat from it, and then they're banished from paradise, and humanity has fallen, and now we all have what is called original sin. So we're all fundamentally bad, and we all need God to save us. That is the Christian understanding of how the world works and was created. Religious theming is kind of everywhere in art in Europe at this time, which again is, we're talking about 15th century. But let me go ahead and actually show you guys. Yeah, so this is what the painting actually looks like. If you want to go and see it, it's in the Prado in Madrid. It's, like, crazy to see in person. Okay, so this is the scene that we descended upon when the game opened. You see this weird kind of freaky sculpture type thing. But this garden is, like, teeming with life. That's the way that paradise, earthly paradise, is supposed to be. It's all of the creatures of the world living together in harmony, and then we've got Adam and Eve. So you'll notice immediately that the characters of God and Adam and Eve in the painting that Bosch actually made is very different than what we see in the game. One of the things that we'll see throughout is that these different paintings of the Northern Renaissance, Richardson has stitched together in this really fun way to create, like, his own, like, hybrid artwork and the world of the game by melding together different paintings into the same scene. So this is the Garden of Earthly Delights. I feel like this is, like, a lot of sin. This is just kind of like the chaos of it's free for all. Everyone's kind of doing everything. There's flowers sticking out of some guy's butt. This guy's a total glutton, going to town on that strawberry. Yeah, this is just kind of like worldly free-for-all sin everywhere. And you can really feel the chaos and the like, decadence and extravagance, just, like, over-the-topness of this moment. And it's kind of showing a hyperbolic view of human sin. And then you get to hell. And let me move my face again, because, oh my god, hell, like, the way that Bosch creates it is so freaky. There's a pig dressed like a nun trying to make out with this guy. There's a weird Eggman who I think in his butt people are being tortured. Surprisingly common theme for depictions of hell is, like, people being tortured, like, within people's butts. I don't know. Yeah, this guy's, his arm has been stabbed. It's so small, it's kind of hard to see everything. This guy's being eaten by a giant bird man. So yeah, this is just, again, like, a cacophony of things going on. Maybe cacophony is not the right word, but I'm trying to sort of convey with words the chaos that we're all seeing. It's like, this is serene and calm and beautiful, and then humanity sins and everything's chaos, and then you kind of get your just desserts for all of the sin that you were just doing during your lifetime in the afterlife. So, yeah, so this is the kind of thing you can expect from Bosch as an artist. This is his masterpiece. And then this is the kind of religious overtone that we're going to see throughout the game. So let's keep going with the game and actually go ahead and eat some of this fruit that Eve says is so good. So let's go ahead and take one. Bad call, right? So apparently that was a dream. We're not actually Adam, we're this guy, but he's just had kind of a nightmare, and I guess is fleeing from the weight of his own guilt through this gorgeous countryside scene. So this is the Church of Heavenly Peter, Free Confessions. So let's see what happens here. He sinned, he's done something awful, he needs confession. So what confession is, how Catholicism worked at this time in this place. Basically, you go to the church, you talk to the priest, you say, okay, I've sinned in this way, I'm very sorry, and the priest says, okay, here's your punishment, you've been absolved of your sin. The reason you have to do that so often, and that's so important, is because in this tradition, if you die and you've sinned and you haven't been absolved, you haven't gone to confessional recently, you go to hell. You're tortured forever. You're in that crazy scene that we just saw from Bosch. So really important for this guy to confess. So we ask, what sins have you committed? All of them. Oh no. Wonderful. Terrific. All 7. Which of the parish boroughs were your sins committed? Mainly Nuremberg and Lübeck. So this is set in Germany then, or the German states at this time. It wasn't actually Germany yet. But I've committed lust in almost every harbor town in south of Oslo. I'm afraid Nuremberg and Lübeck don't fall within our jurisdiction. We can't take confession for sins committed in another parish. Why on earth not? Surely lust is lust wherever it's committed. Yes, we're capable of forgiving you, but it's against the rules. And as you can see from Q, which he just totally cut in front of, chalk up another sin. Very busy church. Gotta stick to the rules. What am I gonna do? Oh, there's a loophole. Okay. As we mentioned, we can absolve you of any sin, but we can't let you confess and commit it outside the parish borders. Okay, so he's got to commit all the sins again within the parish borders, and then they can absolve them. Every sin. The confession of lust covers all lustful acts. Maybe each of the 7 sins in this parish, and then your absolution will be absolute. Happy sinning. Okay, so this is obviously not how it works in real life. There's no different jurisdictions. You just, God is ultimately the one absolving you, so you can confess wherever. This is just kind of the goofy premise to get you started. So the plot of this game is you have to go and commit each of the 7 deadly sins, and then you're good to go. You can be absolved of all of them, and then you just, I guess, have to be good for the rest of your life, so you never have to do all of this again. Let's see, so we've got an inventory, and then this tells us which sins we have to commit. So we gotta do it. Oh my god. Come on. We gotta do envy, we gotta do gluttony, greed, lust, pride, sloth, and wrath. Try not to murder anyone, and don't freak out. Okay, so it looks like even for wrath, we can't murder anyone. I think something bad happens if we murder someone, but I don't quite remember. But anyway, you can kind of see here a little bit more clearly, all of these characters clearly are taken from different paintings. They're stylistically a little different. The coloring, the quality of light is different. Yeah, you can see here how this game is a really cool kind of mosaic. So let's talk to some people. Okay, I guess we can flip. 2 beautiful organists performing a slightly clunky rendition. I'm not going to butcher a French name on my first video on this channel. I don't want France to be mad at me. But I'll try talking to them. He just kind of sings along. Innocent looking young lady. Okay, what'd you do? What are you in for? Slit my father's throat for using a rude word. So she'll kill her dad, but she won't say a bad word. Yeah, that is a really tight corset. Alright, what are you in for, buddy? Fair. Mood. Me too. Committed the great and valorous deed of murdering 1,000 innocent men in a single battle, which was great, of course. And then I made a big mistake of bragging about it in a brothel the following evening. They ratted me out to the clergyman for ideas of unbuckled my codpiece. So codpiece is the part that covers your pelvic area. Very commonly worn at this time. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse or be vulgar on this channel yet, so I'm playing it safe, but I want to curse so badly. Because it's my nature. Okay. Were you on a crusade? What's going on, buddy? You look like Henry VIII. I know you're not. What are you thinking here in the sword? Agreed, okay, makes sense. Huh. That's good. Yeah, I love this game. It's got such goofy humor, but what I love the most about it is that it's all of this incredible art stitched together. Like, look at that! Like, that's beautiful! See the whole church we were just at, light shining upon it. This poet writing presumably some beautiful verses about it. What are you writing about? Will you write a poem for me? Oh, yep. My song about love. Pig. I think this is a saint. I think this is taken from a painting of, like, maybe St. Anthony? I don't know, I need to look that up. I wish to talk to you. The background is just crazy. Got some guys playing music at an egg. Definitely a thing that happened all the time. But they're really jamming though. We love to see it. Can I? Oh. Okay, you can clap. I wanted to like join in. Okay, so one thing that happens in the Northern Renaissance more than in the Italian Renaissance, or I guess the Southern Renaissance or whatever, we don't really call it the Southern Renaissance, we just call it the Italian Renaissance. But a theme of Northern art is kind of these everyday life themes, which we'll see a little bit more throughout this game as it goes on. I wouldn't say that like, I don't know if this is like a lobotomy or like a surgery or what, like not like that, maybe that's not common, but like people just kind of doing an everyday activity clustered around is a lot more common in like Dutch and I think like Germanic art at this time. Again, Germany's not unified yet, but what you guys doing? Where are you guys? Okay, landowners doing nothing. Simply resting. We're landowners, not workers of the land. Our time is mainly spent in leisure. Can I join? Great. Hanging out with the landlords. Some things never change. Some people just don't work and don't do anything. Whether it's feudalism or taking my goddamn rent. Anyway, let's go to town. Let's see what's over there. Haven't gotten any items yet. Okay, there's a lot to take in here. We got a cool statue. We got this guy doing his best. He's doing his absolute best. Alright, let's look at this. Splendid. It is splendid. We can't talk to them. No. Can't take it. So there's all these guys hanging, chilling, vibing. Let's join. Okay, jeez. Oh hey, these guys are I just noticed. What is this? He's got like he's playing something through his nose. And this guy's clearly a skeleton. Is this guy like a frog? Okay, vibing. I like that they tell you like what the song is and who did it, like in the game. Because there's also here I can show you the credits. I think it saves my progress, but yeah. So one thing that I really care a lot about, like when I'm developing video games, in addition to when I'm writing essays and doing historical research, is I will always have like a very thorough like citation section of like all of the books and articles I consulted, all of the images I used, links to everything, and also that's something I try to take into account with this YouTube channel as well. Like if you've seen some of the like cozy gameplay videos that I have on this channel, like the Minecraft videos, for example, I'll have cited like if there's a tutorial for a particular farm that I looked at, I'll put it in the description. If there's like mods that I use, I'll cite there. Like that's just super important. It's just good practice. So that's fantastic that Richardson has done that in a credit section. But it's even kind of cooler that he does it like in the game. So like in the moment when you're like, oh, like that song is kind of cool. Like I wonder who did that. You can see like in the moment. So good on you, Joe Richardson. Mad respect. So. Anyway, so let's keep going. This window is bright. Let's look in here. All right, there's this pretty lady, beautiful woman reclining on a bed of plump white feathers. Can we talk to her? Oh, we're catcalling her. I don't love that. All right, can we look at her? She's beautiful. Yeah, she is surprisingly clean for such a dirty society. So this is clearly a wealthy lady. We've got, I don't know where my mouse cursor went, but yeah, she's surprisingly clean. She's wearing all white. And then if you look off to the right of her, you've got all this like fine jewelry. Just kind of the wealth of fabric on her bed. Like this is a very wealthy person. Oh, there's my mouse. Yeah, look, that's it. You know, fabric at this time, nice fabric, expensive. You've got pearls dripping out of this like beautiful like velvet-lined wooden box. You've got candles; those cost money. Yeah, just all the different kinds of like fabrics. Like this beautiful carpet, and the white of her dress obviously is that's hard to keep clean. That's probably very expensive. Can I? What is it? I'm not sure the lady. Well, how do I get out? Oh, there we go. One of the things that I wanted to talk about throughout this playthrough is basically like how can this game how can this game be used to teach history in a classroom setting? So this game is pretty short, as you'll find. So I think that helps it. Like you can't really assign like all of Assassin's Creed 2 to a class because that's like dozens of hours of gameplay to learn like a handful of things with the Italian Renaissance. But you can assign this because I think you know, I cheated a little in my first playthrough because the puzzles were hard, and I was really just kind of more in it for the art. But I think I'd only spent like less than 2 hours on my first playthrough with this to see everything. So it's like that's reasonable to assign to students, right? And then you get like this whole world is made out of different pieces of Renaissance art, and there's a gallery later in the game that I'll show you that like helps you kind of connect the pieces of like where certain paintings are from. You know, what's being used, but you're just kind of exposed to a lot of just art, which like is great because then when you go to class, you have a lecture on like the art of the Northern Renaissance. You can say, "Oh my God, I saw the head from this dancing guy, and now I recognize it in the painting we're analyzing." Or, "Oh hey, like I've heard that song before. I remember it from this scene in the Game Before Last Things." And like that's so interesting that this is the kind of music that they would be playing at court, and that like I as a modern person have been able to hear it. So I think just like the world building and the immersion in the art and sound and just kind of like artistic culture of the Northern Renaissance, I think makes this game like a really good kind of like intro tasting palette to the Northern Renaissance, even though the game is not like intending to be educational. Okay, just because I know the gallery is this direction, I'm gonna start taking us this way. There's just so much to do here. I think the gallery is this way. Oh wait. Let's do that. So now we have a chisel and mallet. Okay, let's see where we end up using that. We love the Italian choral music. I bet this guy doesn't speak Italian. Claudio Monteverdi's Tirsi e Clodi. I do speak Italian, I don't know what that means. Hello, dog. Can I pet him? Seriously, he looks so nice. Okay, we got a blind painter over here. I don't want to challenge the Pie King right now. We've got another big sculpture. I think this is the gallery. This is what I wanted to show everyone. Okay, this is the coolest part of the whole game. Maybe this is not the coolest part of the whole game to other people, but remember how I showed you this? A painting of such beauty and complexity you can't begin to describe it. If you go over and look at it, boom! We got the Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. And it's in the game for us to see and be like, I saw some of this stuff earlier. So that's why I think this is a great resource for students, because it's like, you know, I have been lucky enough that I've seen this painting in person. Like, I know who painted it. Like, I see it, I recognize it. So I knew to kind of Wikipedia it and pull it up to show you. But if you didn't know that, now you stumble upon this gallery, and it's this, like, exciting moment of like, hey, I know that stuff. I've seen it. And then this is a painting of naughty people in circles. I'll explain that in a sec, because that's the painting that's based off of. Old Man Precarious Go. Was that the St. Anthony we saw earlier? See, this is the fun of getting to kind of figure out, oh, where have I seen these paintings? St. Jerome in the desert. Is this? Yeah, that's what we saw earlier. Okay, St. Jerome, not St. Anthony. I get my things confused. But yeah, this is because this is like such a beautiful scene. This is what we saw earlier. I assume that Richardson took this because it has such a strong emphasis on the background, so it gives a lot of world building kind of right up front. It's just beautiful. Circa 1520. What else have we seen? We've seen these guys, painting of some musicians in a massive egg. Very curious about this. Okay, so a follower of Hieronymus Bosch means that this is somebody in his workshop or someone who came after him, who worked with him, under him, was inspired by him, etc. So yes, this is much later than Bosch's own lifetime. Bosch died sometime in the 15 teens, according to Wikipedia. But this is about 1561, so about a generation after Bosch himself. But yeah, what a weird painting. We've got the serpent hanging from a branch to the far right. I wish I had my mouse, because I can't. I'm trying to get my mouse back, it wouldn't let me. But yeah, you can see the serpent hanging from the tree on the far right. You can see some fiery brimstone kind of imagery on the bottom left. So it's like, this is probably a scene from hell or something like that. What else have we seen recently? Well, we saw this guy, kind of a fancy man. Lucas Cranach the Younger, Portrait of August von Saxon, 1565. So very common. Portraiture was really big at this time. If you were rich, incredibly embroidered attire is just stunning. The gilded hilt of his sword. I don't know what he's holding in his right hand, but basically everything in this portrait is supposed to signal this guy's wealth and prestige. The marble floor. Yeah. A lot of money in that painting. So how do we get out of this? We've seen the freeloading landlords over here. So this is Peter Bugel the Elder, The Land of Cockaigne, 1567. So we're getting, most of these paintings seem like they're getting later into the 16th century. So maybe I was sort of framing the time of the world of this game on Bosch's lifetime himself, but it seems like most of it is probably going to be set later into the 16th century, which is the 1500s. Oh, and this gallery itself, of course, is its own painting. We know this guy. It's pretty similar, right? Painting of a man with a strangely familiar face. Painting. So this guy, clearly we have his face, but it looks like we've changed his hair color. we've really changed his style. Like this is another like wealthy portrait where like everything in this is symbolizing his wealth, but also trying to symbolize different aspects of like his family, his reign. Like we've got some coat of arms over to the right. We have a griffin necklace, which I don't personally know what that symbolizes or means, but that's probably some symbol of his family power, status, etc. Same with the flower that he's holding, which again, I don't know the particular symbolism, but in paintings like this, every element of it is intentional, and it's supposed to draw your eye, and it's supposed to clue you into some information about this person. So that was the point of those. Okay, so this is another Bosch. It's called The Seven Deadly Sins of the Four Last Things. What are the four last things? I had to look this up because I didn't know. But apparently, the four last things is something that philosopher Thomas More came up with. And he's an important religious philosopher in Northern Europe. And the four last things, the way that he understood them is death, judgment, heaven, and hell, I think. Okay, so top left, you die. And then you are judged, top right, is like, okay, have you sinned recently? Have you led a sinful life? Have you led a good life? Jesus gets to make that call when you die. This is a very common thing that's depicted in Italian Renaissance art. It's called The Last Judgment, where this process is depicted, and then you're either sent down to hell or up to heaven based on what kind of life you led. If you had good faith, if you committed these sins, etc. So that's what's being depicted here in the corners. Those are the four last things. And then the seven deadly sins are on this wheel in the middle. They've labeled these and then they're depicting the sin or some, like, I guess, archetypal representation of what that sin could be. Anyway, let's go commit some sins. Let's try to figure out how we can even do that. So, if we go for gluttony, I feel like a pie eating contest is the way to go for that. Let's see if we can challenge the pie eating king. Cute old man. Are you ready to challenge the pie king? Sure. What's in it for me? The extremely unlikely event that you beat the Pie King, you will win the Pie King's crown and title. Become the Pie King. You'll earn the right to ridicule and shame me in any manner you see fit. Okay, I like that. What are the rules? 2 men, 2 pies. First man to eat his pie is the winner. What a way with words. Alright, I'm ready. Let's challenge the Pie King. 7 coins. He didn't tell me that in the rules. Whatever. Okay, maybe we can talk to this blind guy. Blind portrait painter. Excuse me. Hello. Can you paint my portrait? You don't have a tin. I don't have money. Everything in this world, it costs money. Did we figure out what these guys? Oh yeah, this is I know what you're singing. Claudio Monteverdi's Bittersweet Glory. Okay. How do I make money? That's the real question. We have a chisel and mallet. I do remember that I can play, or I can sculpt this. I don't remember exactly how. They're blunt. Oh my god. Every little thing. Okay, let's try to find someone who can sharpen. Let's see if we have to pay for this too. Damn it. Let's try that. Yes, okay. I didn't remember how to make that happen, but I knew you could sharpen your tools. Thank you, Mr. Blacksmith Man. I don't think we're gonna commit gluttony. I think we're gonna commit pride. I think this is pride. Oh no, I want to do this one first. Yes. Okay. Oh, this is a Da Vinci one, I think. Let's find out. Let's go to the gallery and find out, because that face looks very Da Vincian. I'm prepared to be wrong. Also, I really hate the myth of Leda and the Swan, so I just wanted to see it. But the myth of Leda and the Swan is that Zeus, as Zeus does, finds a beautiful mortal woman, is like, I want to tap that, basically, and the mortal woman, rightly, is like, no, I'm not into that, I don't want to do that, and then Zeus transforms into an animal. This is a very common myth. In this case, he transforms into a swan, and then, you know, forcibly has sex with her as a swan. So, yeah, there are a lot of, like, stories of rape that in the Renaissance get kind of held up as, like, stories of love, which obviously I don't like, and, like, as, like, a modern woman, it's not, like, a fun thing, but these are really commonly depicted in the Renaissance. And this is at a time when, obviously, like, mostly men are controlling artistic production, like, they're mostly the patrons of art and the producers of it, but there are also, like, women engaged in these conversations about, you know, what kind of art, like, is good and beautiful, and, you know, they're not, like, totally left out of this conversation. So it does surprise me how prevalent those kinds of stories are. Yeah, nude woman making egg babies with a swan. That's a fair description. No, it's Francesca Melzi, not Da Vinci. Oh man, that swan looks really freaky in the painting version. Oh my god. It's just, that's the stuff of nightmares. That's terrifying. As that event should be, like, I find it a very disturbing myth. But Zeus does that with lots of different kinds of animals. He transforms into lots of different kinds of animals to sleep with women that don't want to sleep with him. So, oh, the Greeks. Sexually promiscuous and morally corrupt. Not modern Greeks, oh my god. Ancient Greeks. Excuse me. Anyway, let's go make a statue of ourselves, because I don't want to look at Leda any longer. Ooh. Yeah, expression of my inner turmoil. Let's do that first. Because I think we could just go through all the options. Yes. Yes. Okay, that's a wash. That's part of the. I think it's a ooh, Master Sculptor. Ooh, let's see it. I think that's part of the middle panel of like everything that's sitting. I don't remember. I don't really want to do this, but I kind of want to see what happens. There we go. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for saying no to that. I'm a peasant. Oh, that's what we already had. No, I want myself. What? Oh, this is why we need the portrait. Damn. Alright, I guess we really do have to figure out how to get some money. How do we get some money? Can I talk to you? That doesn't help. How many of you have babies? What is this? Okay, you're not from this painting. You're from somewhere else. Also, what are you playing? No. And with pipe. There we go. I wish I could be as happy and contented as one of those couples. Invidia. Is that Invidia? Yeah. Invidia. Committed a sin of envy. Good for us. I forgot it was that easy. But you recognize the four last things, the circle that we saw earlier. It's a kind of Wheel of Fortune-esque spinning wheel. That was great. Okay, that was super easy. I can't go upstairs. I want to commit one that's a puzzle. That one was too easy. I just don't know how to get money, is the thing. This guy's jamming. What are you singing, though? Or playing? That's not gonna tell me? Whatever. Well, these guys can play cooler. What's all this then? These lucky people just inherited a large sum of money after the death of a relative to whom none of them had a particularly strong emotional connection. Good for them! So let's see. Extortion, love it. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know about like the history of lawyers at this time, but I know quite a bit about the history of money lending in the Renaissance, actually, at least in the Italian part of it. But I want money, so time for corruption. Looking a copy of this town's official treachery, deceit, and extortion regulation. Without them, I'm only sanctioned to act fraudulently and/or maliciously, which will be much less profitable in this instance. Find me a copy, I'll give you a cut of our ill-gotten gains. I'm the man for the job. I'm on it. Where do I get this? Clerk's office next door. I'm gonna steal it. Time to steal. How do we get out of here? How do we get out of here? How do I get out of here? Oh, I'm standing at the doorway. Alright, it's next door, so this one. It's every time you enter a new room in this game, it's just like an assault of the senses. There's so much happening. Some sort of magician? Well, deep in concentration, that's the problem. Alright. Oh, okay. So I can't talk to anyone, I guess. But look at these beautiful books here. We love the, this border is just crazy. Okay, books in the early modern period are just, like, so impossibly beautiful. And they're so expensive, too. That's why, you don't, I mean, obviously there's just scraps of paper everywhere here, which also cost quite a bit of money, so it's not something that everyone would just have lying around. But books like this, like with the gilding and the illumination and oh my god, it's just, they're so nice. Anyway, we're doing crime, and I need to figure out how to do it. Okay. Can I talk to you? Well, if I can't talk to anyone, can I just like steal something? It's really busy. Public inquiries are considered low priority and generally ignored. Time wasters generally give up when the clerks are too busy to tell them. People generally important inquiries will come to me. It's a riddle. Okay. Why do you do that? Sure. I remember how to solve this a little bit, but not totally. I can, but you'll have to answer my riddle first. Cool, what's the riddle? I'm the one who gave you life, but not your father, not his wife. My powers are great, but not godly. I made your head, but not your body. Who am I? But we need to go to the gallery and figure out who our artist is. Alright. The portrait is of Matthias Smolik. The guy's name is, I'm gonna say the worst American accent, Jacob von Utrecht. I'm not even gonna attempt the Dutch. Jacob van Utrecht. Okay, let's remember that. Jacob. Alright, solve the riddle. We did it. Okay. Copy of the town's official treachery, deceit, and extortion regulation. No problem, I have that right here. I feel like we could have saved a lot of time if you just asked me what I wanted in the first place. But thanks. Alright, let's skip to the creepy lawyer. Ooh, it's like a bundle. whole slew of regulations. I didn't even know that that was gonna be greed. What is it called? Is that just avarice? But we call it greed in English? I mean, avarice is also an English word. Anyway, greed. And then I'm starting to get pretty tired because I am new to YouTube and to talking and recording videos. So I think we're gonna get a portrait of ourselves. We're gonna make the statue look like us with pride, and then I think we'll do some like wrap-up thoughts maybe. And probably won't get through the whole game. And I guess if people really enjoy this, we can do a part 2. But I'm not a brand new YouTube channel. It's like it'll probably just be this. Let's talk to you. I want you to paint my portrait, please. Give points. So because I've played this before, I know that we can lie and he'll call us on it, so I'm just gonna be truthful. I'm a man. Emerging resplendent from a shivering lake. I'm sitting on a chair right in front of you. Dark hair, dark eyes. Turquoise jacket, pink salmon trousers. Completely nude. Okay, cool. I love that this guy's painting technique is just, good for him. The precision that he can get out of, not to mention the blindness, but just the technique. Impressive. It's lovely. Okay, I appreciate you, man. I wanted to thank him. There's no option to thank him. That's okay. Just a sack of gold. Okay. Man, those people inherited an enormous amount of money. We really got a cut of it. Like, good for them, but also, like, we did them so dirty. So dirty. Alright. I have a portrait of me. Vaguely resembling me. That guy did a fantastic job. Are you kidding me? Alright, chisel mallet. I want to make me. I have reference to. There we go. Oh, he gave us a frame too. That was so nice of him. I thought he was just going to use a newspaper. Beautiful. Marvelous. Fine. It's so hard to read these. Anyway, we got Pride. So that's pretty good. I think maybe we'll get to music. Alright, let's get to a quieter part of the map and then we'll do some kind of wrap-up thoughts. So obviously there's a lot more to explore here. There are a lot more paintings to look at. There's a lot more people to talk to. But this area was pretty quiet, so I think maybe we'll do some wrap-up thoughts here. So my whole thing for, like, I guess my professional work, like, half of what I do is so doctoral student, right, studying history. Half of what I do is I research and read a ton about and write about different parts of the Italian Renaissance. That's my area of expertise. Different historians study different time periods and geographies. That's mine. So, same time period roughly as this, different geography, slightly south. But like the main thing that I'm concerned with in my professional life is how digital technology and digital media can help kind of the average everyday person connect to history in a way that they otherwise wouldn't, right? And video games are such a fantastic way to do that. Like if you've played any of the Assassin's Creed franchise, if you've played like Civilization, like there's lots of games that people really love that are historically inspired, whether or not they're totally historically accurate, but you can get a lot out of them. For example, Assassin's Creed 2 talks about a really famous conspiracy that I have done a lot of research on and actually developed my own video game about. But it features only about like I don't know, like 5 minutes or so in Assassin's Creed 2. So it's like you get, depending on the game, you get these kind of like little tastes of historical moments or themes or characters or what have you. And then even in games that aren't designed to be educational, I feel like it, depending on the person, it kind of prompts you to think, like, oh, well, what is that? Like, is that real? Did that really happen? Like, for example, like I found myself Googling, even though I knew the answer, like, did the Assassin's Creed ever exist? Like, was there ever a group of assassins? But there are other parts of the Assassin's Creed franchise that are like really well researched and do have great attention to detail. Like, for example, the spatial reality of the places that they visit in Assassin's Creed 2 is really good. Like, I'm lucky enough that I've spent time in Florence, I've spent time in Venice, much less time in Venice, but so I can't really attest as well to how like Venice in that game is outlined and how accurate it is. But Florence is very good, and the major landmarks they do very well. And then like this game, like the thing that you kind of get out of it really is the visual and auditory immersion in the world of the Northern Renaissance. Even though this game is silly goofy, even though the premise of committing each individual sin so you can be absolved of them all is like objectively silly, and this has kind of Monty Python-esque humor throughout. Like it does use what we call primary sources. Primary sources in history is like there's a more like academic historical definition, but the kind of the broad definition that is easier to understand is like a document or an artifact or a painting or something from the time period you're studying. There's more nuance to that, but that's the kind of like slightly wrong but simple definition. And this game, even though it doesn't rely on like text-based documentation that I know of, which is what most historical research is done in, all of the paintings, all of the music that they use, like that's primary source material. So, like, yeah, Joe Richardson did, in kind of a roundabout way, have to do a little bit of historical research to think, okay, well, what art is there in the Northern Renaissance that I can use to make this? Like, what kinds of music were they playing at the time? Like, how do I source that material, and then how do I incorporate it in this game? And then, of course, like, his aim was more like, how do I make a really beautiful world to set this really funny game in, and how do I like help people have fun? But like I, as a historical game developer, would be asking the same sorts of questions, and my aim would be totally different. My aim would be, how do I make a really beautiful world that is historically accurate or historically inspired? And we'd be kind of doing the same process for these different aims and arrive at a similar conclusion. So anyway, I think video games, this one in particular, are a really great tool for teaching history. And yeah, I had a lot of fun playing Four Last Things for the YouTube channel. I hope people see this and enjoy it. If you enjoy this, let me know. And yeah, thank you for sticking around.